right, so I've laid everything out. Now, if you just purchased the back rack, we're gonna start there. We're gonna get the back rack installed, assembled down here, and then we'll get that installed on the vehicle first. And for all the individuals that have the full rack, the back rack installation is gonna be pertaining to you as well. You might have a few things to skip ahead to when we're on the vehicle, but basically watch the whole video and we'll end up with a full rack on this Bronco. So stay tuned. Right now, I'm just kind of laying out all the bracketry and just sorting it out. We went ahead and prepped all the bolts with a washer on it, and we're gonna apply some of our included Loctite right now. Once we get all that, we'll start assembling some of the crossbars on the back rack section. Okay, so we got all of our hardware prepped. Now that we're gonna start installing this rubber padding onto the bracketry, and I'm gonna just give you a flyover of where the brackets are gonna go. Starting at the front of the rack, they're engraved 1, then in the middle we have 2, and on the back rack we have 3 and 4. So the only brackets that are side specific are the number 1 position, and those are labeled P1 for passenger 1 and D1 for driver 1. Everything else can kind of switch if it needs to. So installing these pads, I'll show you how to do that and where each pad is gonna go, and then we'll get the brackets installed on the vehicle. We'll get them kind of set loosely, and then we'll start assembling the back rack down here on the floor. All right, so here you can see we have our 3 lasered out in this bracket, and we're gonna flip it over, and you can kind of see this area right here. This is what we're going for with our sticky pad. So we'll peel back the backing here and just kind of work the pad, into the corner right there, and just make sure we're pressing firmly. We'll just get this one set. Now on the other side of number 3 that has the stud on it, basically with the stud facing up, you can fit one of these skinny pieces on the edge right here. And then you can fit a full piece kind of in that concave there, and then another skinny piece on the upper side of this little hook right here. So you can actually fit 3 pieces on this one. Moving to number 4, we have right there lasered 4. We flip that over. We're able to fit 1 full piece here and 1 skinny piece on that upper lip right there. On the stud side, again, number 4, stud facing up. This one we're able to fit 1 full piece, larger piece right there, flat, and then on that upper side, we can fit one of the small pieces. So that's kind of the basic layout, but just make sure that you have a good clean surface here. Go ahead and wipe that down, make sure there's no dust or debris, and then start applying your rubber sticky pads to it. All right, so now we're at the vehicle. We're gonna install our bracketry. So this is position number 3, and that's gonna go on the front part of the rear of the roof. So basically this is gonna go just like that with the stud facing in. The associated number 3 part is gonna go on the inside. The stud goes through the hole, and we're just gonna capture that with a washer and a nut. And we're just gonna get this snug for right now. We want a little bit of mobility with this until we get the whole rack set, and then we'll tighten it down. Okay, so bracket 4 is gonna be the same thing. We put this one on the outside, stud faces in, and we're just gonna couple it with the associated number 4 bracket. Start the nut on here, and we'll just snug it down. Like I said, we'll leave a little bit of play in the bracket so we can adjust it, but just run the nut up basically. All right, so we're back down here. We're gonna install some crossbars in the back rack. So you can see here, there's an inner side rail and an outer. These just mate together just like that. We have these smaller holes here where we install the crossbars. This is cut out to where our brackets 3 and 4 kind of recess into. So right now we'll just get the crossbars in place and get this put onto the vehicle. All right, so we got 3 crossbars in. Now we're gonna install the wind deflector here. And you can kind of see there's 2 holes in the side here. So we're gonna take one of our crossbars, turn it vertically. We're gonna slide 3 of the T-nuts into this top channel so that the wind deflector can mount to it. We just need to remember when we slide these in to keep the raised side facing down. So we'll put 3 in there, kind of shake them down. And basically this is gonna go like that. We're gonna take our wind deflector, slide it over, and before we get this bolted in, we'll go ahead and slide our T-nuts in this channel to line up with the corresponding holes on the wind deflector. We'll go ahead and get this installed as well as our other side rail over there, and then we'll be ready to place it on the vehicle. All right, so we got the back rack installed. Now we're moving forward with the full rack installation. So we're gonna start installing our bracketry on the side rails and installing the crossbars. We'll get all that assembled down here and then we'll get it on the vehicle. All right, so we got all of our crossbars installed. We got our middle brackets installed. Now we're gonna install our front brackets. And like we mentioned earlier, these are side specific. So D1 is gonna be on the driver's side. P1 is gonna be on the passenger side. So we're just gonna use these holes in the side that'll thread right into these nut certs here. We'll go ahead and snug this up, and then we'll install this bracket here. This little bracket is designed to be able to secure the front little trim pieces on the vehicle. So it's gonna install just like this. We'll give you a close-up shot, but there's gonna be a carriage bolt in this lower slot, and then this is gonna be bolted together with an additional carriage bolt. So we'll give you a close-up shot of that, but we'll go ahead and install these on the ground, and then we'll be ready to throw the rack up on the vehicle. All right, so we got the rack installed on the vehicle. We went ahead and ran these bolts up hand tight. We're gonna move to the back and get that all bolted together to the back portion of the rack. Also, we have these factory trim pieces here, and the carriage bolt that we have on this bracket right here is gonna actually bolt this into place. You do have to drill this hole, and we'll post up a picture of the measurements on where to drill that. Also, you can kind of hold it up and get a good idea and mark this. There's plenty of adjustment in this slot, so if your hole's not perfect, you're gonna be just fine. You can adjust it up and down here and side to side here, so you should be good there. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and attach the back rack to the front rack. So you may need to loosen the rear mounting bolts, and then we're gonna put in this splice piece on the bottom. Just make sure the curvature kind of cradles the crossbar right here. So that'll go on the bottom, and then the crossbar will act as the splice piece for the top. We'll do this on both sides, and we'll get started on the wind deflector. All right, so now we're gonna start on the wind deflector, and we're gonna take our silver crossbar, we're gonna match it up to our wind deflector, slide in our T-nuts, and we're just gonna make sure, same thing, that we have that raised side facing down. We'll line the T-nuts up with these holes, then we'll get the wind deflector sitting on this crossbar. We'll get all of our bolts started first with a 5/32 Allen, then we'll go ahead and tighten it down when we get both sides flush.